Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? It is your man Gamecock Chuck coming to you today on Sunday afternoon. Man, it is so great to wake up knowing that my Gamecocks are 1-0 to start the 2021 football season after a total dominated performance last night against Eastern Illinois. And I know everybody's saying Eastern Illinois is not a powerhouse team. It's an FCS school. But hey, you got to play the teams that are on your schedule, you know. So, this schedule was put together long before Shane Beamer ever got there. So we have to play who we got to play. Judging from the game, like I said, it was a total dominating performance on both sides of the ball. Zeb Nolan got to start at quarterback, and he did what he was supposed to do. He went out there, led the offense. He was effective in the passing game. He got them in and out of the huddle. He didn't light the scoreboard up or the stat sheet up with 300-400 yards like he probably could have or should have, but he was effective. He got out there and he had 4 touchdown passes to no interception. So anytime you can get out there and throw more touchdowns than you can interception, it's always a good game and always usually leads to a victory for that team. So, he spread the ball out. I think about a dozen receivers or a dozen a dozen of his team members and players had at least one reception in the game. The leading receiver was Zaquandre White, which was a little questionable for me. I would like more of the receivers to, step up and got more, more reception, more yards, but it is what it is. Zaquandre White, he got out there and he got what he got, and he led the team in receiving. I think he had about 50 yards receiving and a touchdown. For rushing, Zaquandre White, again, he led the team in rushing. He had 128 yards and a touchdown. So overall, offensively, it was a good performance. I'd like to see a little more out of the wide receiver core, wide receiver group, but hey, it is what it is. Defensively, like I said, we were stout. We held Eastern Illinois to 109 total yards. Most of them was through the air. I think they threw for 78 yards through the air and only had like 31 rushing yards. So overall, it was a good defensive performance. Had 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, with the second one coming from Jordan Birch in the fourth quarter. I think it was a 61-yard pick six. So good job on him getting the ball and getting it in the end zone, leading to a defensive score. We had 2 sacks, 2 interceptions. We also had 2 blocked punts, which some of the Beamer balls back. So good job there getting 2 blocked punts. And yeah, we just like I said, we totally dominated and shut them down. But like I said, it is always great when you wake up and knowing that the Gamecocks are 1-0, baby. It's so awesome. Not a lot of teams in America can say that today, but I know my Gamecocks can. So it was a good win. Not a good matchup against an inferior opponent, but it's still a win. But this weekend actually was a lot of good games. This weekend, a lot of good action. A lot of your top 25 teams did what they're supposed to do and win. Had a few that crapped the bed, with the likes of Wisconsin losing to Penn State. Penn State got a huge win. That was a good game. I actually watched all of that game, and it was actually an awesome game. Penn State, made the plays when they had to, made the stops when they had to. Wisconsin didn't make, some of the better decisions, but Penn State went in there to Wisconsin and came out with a huge victory over Wisconsin. It started on Friday night in North Carolina. They went into Blacksburg and got beat. I did predict an upset. I did put North Carolina on an upset alert, and they did not let me down. They did not disappoint me. It was a huge win for Virginia Tech at home against the number 10 team, which to me is a little bit overrated. After losing so many key pieces, I don't think they were a top 10 team, but hey, I don't get to decide the polls. But huge win for Virginia Tech there at home. Alabama, they were being Alabama. They did what Alabama always do. They blow people out, shut them down defensively, and they stifle them with their defense, and they just took care of Miami. They actually beat down Miami like they should have. LSU going on the road to UCLA and getting beat. I mean, that was an upset, a good win for UCLA. Maybe LSU's a little overrated. Who knows? And then one of the bigger upsets that I've seen or that happened over the weekend, I think, would be, the Montana Grizzlies going to Washington and taking them down for the first time since 1920. Their record was 117-1 overall against Washington, and they went in there yesterday and took them down 13-7. So it's a big, huge win for Montana FCS school. So huge win. But I do want to give a few apologies. I want to throw a few apologies out there. You know, I'm a man. If I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. Want to apologize to the Maryland Terrapins. Any Maryland Terrapins fans out there? Hey, I underestimated you, man. I thought West Virginia was going to go in there and get a good victory, but hey, Talia Tagovailoa, you know, he showed up and did his thing, scored when he had to, stopped West Virginia when they had to. So hey, huge shout out and props win, big win for Maryland. Also, you know, I took in that Georgia. I was in Charlotte last night watching the Georgia Bulldogs and Clemson play. Man, that was a heck of a defensive struggle, man. Georgia, hey, I was wrong about you. I underestimated y'all's defense. Y'all showed up last night, and I don't know if it was just y'all's defense just exerting your will, but you did what you had to do. You disrupted the backfield. You got the DJ, sacked him like 7 times. So huge shout out to Georgia Bulldogs, all y'all fans out there. Sorry I underestimated y'all, but hey, that was a huge win. Clemson, man, y'all got a lot of work to do, man. Y'all offensive line was trash. Paper thin. I mean, Georgia lived in y'all's backfield and all up in DJ's face the whole game, man. It was it was one of them games. DJ, wasn't very impressed with him, and he's got a lot of work to do. I don't think he's the second coming of Trevor Lawrence. I think y'all need to work on that and get that straightened out. But the good thing about Clemson is y'all have a lot of easy games left on your schedule, so shouldn't be an issue. Maybe y'all will get right offensively throughout the year and make a run and get back to the playoffs. You know, you got a fairly easy chance too. But like I said, it was a very impressive win by Georgia last night. Offensively, there wasn't anything going on, you know, for Georgia's offense or Clemson's offense. You know, Clemson's defense, the right spot of that team, showed up and pretty much shut Georgia down for the most part. You know, Georgia was able to, at the end of the game, you know, pick up their first downs when they needed to put the game away. But, you know, from an offensive standpoint, that game was pretty boring. I think both offenses only scored 3 points the whole game. You know, both offenses put up just 3 field goals. You know, if it wouldn't have been for the defensive score by Georgia, you know, that game would have went into overtime. But, you know, it was a huge defensive play, you know, by that safety to pick that ball off and take it back for a touchdown. So, huge win for Georgia and the Bulldogs there. So you know, I'm looking forward to seeing how they progress throughout the year. They got a very daunting schedule ahead of them, so it's not going to be an easy road for Georgia going forward. But it was a good win, and it was actually a good time last night in Charlotte. You know, seeing that game in person, it was actually one of the best games I've seen in a long time in person. So, but yeah. I mean, it was a good week of college football, good weekend. Glad to see, you know, all the fans back in the stands. You know, glad to see, you know, college game day, everything. It was an awesome weekend, man. So, like I said, you know, I'm glad to see college football back, and I'm glad my Gamecocks is 1-0, baby. Yes, it is so good. We're looking forward to this Saturday. You know, headed up to Greenville, North Carolina, to take on the East Carolina Pirates. Right now, I think the opening line was South Carolina's a 4-point dog in that matchup. So we shall see how that goes. I don't understand that. Maybe Vegas is, I don't know how they got that line. Maybe it's a home field advantage, and maybe they're thinking that Luke Doty may not be back. I mean, I don't know how they come up with that line. But yeah, right now, as of today, South Carolina opened up as a 4-point dog. So we shall see how that goes. I will be putting out a video on that, you know, as the week goes ahead or goes along. I'll be putting out a couple more videos this week, just giving some of my predictions and talking about the Gamecocks and, you know, looking ahead at that game and giving my prediction and my assessment of the game. So, hey, thanks to all my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, like this video, share this video, comment on this video. Let me know what you think. And until next time, go Gamecocks, go Coach Beamer. We're 1-0, baby. Yes.